Hello students, this is the second session of chapter 8, Janapadas to Mahajanapadas. In this lesson, we are going through a case study of North Indian states, namely Bihar, Magadha and Vaiji Confederacy. In this chapter, we were learning about what is the meaning of a state, the meaning of Janapada and Mahajanapadas. And today we will continue with the lesson and learn more about the cultural, economic, political and social life during that period. Students, I have advised you in my previous session that you refer to page number 35. There is the figure of the map of India being given there, wherein you can locate the names of the places or the states that we are going to read in the lesson. It will be easier for you to locate because the names are given in cap locks, capital letters. Before I start today's session, let me quickly go through whatever we have discussed in the first session of this lesson. I was discussing about the meaning of Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. The term Janapada implies a state or a territorial unit. The word Jana means people or subject and Pada means food. So, in simple term, if I want to make it even simpler for you, it will mean Jana means a state. Okay, and when several state forms comes together, a country is formed. That is a Mahajanapada. And in this lesson, we were discussing how during the 6th century BC, there was a rise in the political history of India. It marked a definite stage, okay, wherein there was growth of states and those states became Mahajanapadas or a country, which was ruled by powerful kings who has the supreme power. And out of the 16 Mahajanapadas that are being mentioned in your textbook, the most important or powerful one were Magadha, Koshala, Vatsa and Avantri. These four Mahajanapadas were very powerful, and there was also one Vaiji or Vriji, which was an important confederacy. Here, confederacy means a combination of states who come together for fighting against a common cause or an action. And I also discussed in the previous session that if we want to know more about this Janapadas and Mahajanapadas, we can refer to some later Vedic literatures and several books that were being written by our ancient famous writers who were literarists, namely the Buddhist literature or the great grammarian Panini, the Arthasastra of Kautilya, and also the work of several Greek writers. And along with their writings, the coins and inscriptions are also an important source that provide us information about that era. Along with the Mahajanapadas, there were also republics in India, and the most important being Sakyas of Kapilavastu, Kolyas of Ramagrama, and Lichajavis of Vaishali. And in due course of time, out of the several Mahajanapadas that existed at that time, Magadha, it emerged as the strongest empire after defeating several Mahajanapadas under the kingship or leadership of Bimbisara. In the previous session, we were also discussing the important developments and main features of this period, which comprised the political condition, the economic conditions, the coins that were being used in that period. We had also discussed about the crafts that people followed, the religious conditions of the people at that time, what was the religion that will be followed, and we also discussed the social conditions of the people. Today we will start with life in the village. Most people lived in villages that were interconnected through pathways. Each village had a headman who was a link between the people and the king. So, according to this paragraph, it states that during the 6th century BC, there were mostly villages. There were also small towns at that time. And the villages were interconnected, or people could go from one village to another using the road or the pathways which connected the villages. During the ancient times, there also existed the system of local self-government, wherein each village had a headman who acted as a middle person, or he was supposed to act as a link between the people and the king. In other sense, he was a representative of the people who reported to the king about the activities or the happenings in the village. The next paragraph is the city life. Gradually, cities came into being. Some of the famous cities were Ujjain in Malwa, Vaishali in Bihar, Kaushambi near Allahabad, and Pratisthana in Deccan. So, with the passage of time, these villages came to be converted into cities, wherein people who worked as craftsmen, they formed guilds, which lead to the establishment of the cities. And some of the famous cities that existed at that time were Ujjain, which is in Malwa, Vaishali, which is located in Bihar, Kaushambi, which is near the state of Allahabad, and Pratisthana, which is now in Deccan. So these were the important cities that were established at the later Vedic period. The rise of Magadha. The battle for political supremacy among the important states lasted for about 100 years. Magadha emerged victorious and established itself as the center of activity in North India. Bimbisara, Ajatasattu and Mahajanapadas were the important rulers. Bimbisara stressed the need for efficient administration. The construction of roads were recognized as essential to good administrations. Officials were appointed to measure the land under cultivation and assess the crops. Chandragupta Mayura brought an end to Nanda dynasty and established the Mayur dynasty. So, out of the 16 Mahajanapadas that existed in the later Vedic period, the most powerful states were Magadha, Koshala, Vatsa, Avantri, and Vaiji. But these units or states were often involved in warfare among them, as they wanted power and supremacy over each other. And the battle for the political supremacy among this important state lasted for about more than 100 years. And after this, Magadha was the most powerful one, which under the leadership emerged victorious and established itself as the center of activity in northern India. It was able to annex many units or Mahajanapadas under its control. And some of the most important rulers of the Magadha Empire were Bimbisara, his son Ajatasattu, and Mahapadmananda. King Bimbisara was a very efficient and powerful king of Magadha, and it was only under him that in the 6th century BC Magadha rose to supreme power in North India. He was a very powerful and efficient king, and he ran the administration very efficiently. He saw that the construction of roads was an essential part for good administration, so he laid stress for the construction of good roads. And as most of the people in his kingdom practiced cultivation, so he also appointed officials to measure the land under cultivation and assess the crops. Bimbisara belonged to the Mahajanapadas dynasty, and under him the kingdom of Magadha rose as supreme power, which lasted until the fall of Dhanananda, when the Mayuryans took over the dynasty under the leadership of Chandragupta Mayura, who established the Mayuryan dynasty in the North India. Next paragraph is the Vaiji or Vriji Confederacy. The 8 clans or territories or Janas combined together to form a confederacy. Among the most important were Vidde, Jantrika, Vaiji, Lichavi. Vidahi was known for its wise kings. It was also a center of learning and Vedic culture. Mahavira's father was the ruler of Jantrika. The rulers of Jantrikas were the followers of Buddhism. Vajri was a republic. Buddha's mother was of the Lichavi clan. So, confederacy was not a single unit, territory or state, but it was a combination of 6 clans or territories or janas which came together to form a confederacy in order to fight for a common cause or action. And among the 8 clans or territories which came together to form a confederacy, Vaidhi, Jantrika, Vajri and Lichavi were the most important among them. So among these 4 confederacy, the first one, Vaidhi, it was a territory which was well known for its rulers or kings who were very learned and wise. Vaidhi was also a center of learning and Vedic culture. Jantrika was the second important confederacy. In Jantrika, the people, they followed Buddhist religion, and it is said that Buddhist religion was being followed by its rulers and its subject. Mahavira's father was the ruler of Jantrika. Next confederacy was Vaiji, which was a republic, which means that the state Vaiji recognized the supremacy of its people in the state. And the last important confederacy was Lichavi, and Buddha's mother was of the Lichavi clan. Students, you can refer to page number 36. On the right hand side of the page, there is a pink box wherein the names of the 16 Mahajanapadas are being given, and in this boxes there are also details about which states were being annexed to Magadha, under which rule, what were the names of the modern towns that belonged at that time. It also showed the capital city, and it also shows when this Mahajanapadas were being annexed and under whose rule. Now I'm going to read that part for you, and I also want all of you to take out your pencils so that you can underline the important points that you need to remember. The 16 Mahajanapadas or states were Kasi, Koshala, Anga, Magadha, Vaiji, Mala, Chedi, Vamsa, which is Vatsa, Kuru, Panchala, Matsya, which is Matsya, Sursena, Avanti, Gandhara and Kamboj, now in Afghanistan. After conquest by the king of Koshala, Kashi was incorporated in Koshala. Now Kashi, you know where is Kashi? It is in North India. It is an important holy place of the Hindu people. So this Kashi, the place was being conquered by Koshala and it was incorporated by the Koshala king in his kingdom. Ayodhya, Saket and Shravasti were the three important cities of Koshala. The state of Koshala was ultimately merged into Magadha. Anga roughly corresponds to the district of Bhagalpur. It was annexed to Magadha during the rule of Bimbisara. Magadha roughly corresponds to the present district of Patna and Gaya. Its earlier capital was Rajgirha. The earliest dynasty of Magadha was founded by Birhatratha. However, the state came into prominence during the kings Bimbisara and Ajatasattu. It became so powerful that all other neighboring states were merged into it. The Vajjains comprised 18 confederated clans. The Lichavis and the Vaidhyas were more prominent. Vaidhi came into prominence during the time of King Janak. Mithila was the most modern town of Janakpur. The city of Kushinara belonged to the state of Malhas. Buddha died at Kushinara. Chedi corresponds to the modern-day Bundelkhand. Vamsa was a very prosperous state. The city of Kausambi was the most important entry point of goods from south and the west. Kuru corresponds to the modern Delhi and Meerut. Panchala had the important cities of Kampila and Kasmani. The country roughly corresponds to Rohilkhand, Bareilly region of Uttar Pradesh. Matsya corresponds to former state of Jaipur in Rajasthan. Sursena had Mathura as its capital. Asaka was the neighborhood of Avanti. Its settlements were on the banks of river Godavari. Avanti roughly corresponds to modern district of Bhagalpur. It became a very important center of Buddhism. Gandhara corresponds to the present-day Kashmir and Taxila. Taxila was the capital city. Kamboj had Dwarka as its capital. So the main points that you need to remember in this lesson is that ancient India had monarchies, republics and confederacies as well. The society was divided according to the caste system that existed at that time. The people, they practiced crafts and also trading by sea was also very popular during this period. And it was under the rule of Bimbisara that Magadha emerged as the most powerful kingdom in North India, and it was able to annex many of the states or Mahajanapadas under its control. So students, in order to learn the lesson more clearly and be more clear with the different topics that are being given on the textbook, you need to read the lesson thoroughly. Now we will do page number 37. The first question that is given here is match the item under A with those under B. So you will have to match column A with column B. The first one given here, number A, is Janapada, and the answer will be the last one, territorial unit combining several Janas. Number B is monarchy. The answer will be state ruled by a king. Number C, republic. It means state in which people are supreme. And number D, confederacy. It will mean combination of states for common action. Now let's do question number 2, which is complete the following statements. Number A, Panini was a great dash. The answer should be grammarian. Number B, Arthashastra was written by dash. The answer is Kautilya. Number C, Kosala was a very powerful dash. And the answer for this will be Mahajanapadas. Number D, several villages made a dash. So the answer will be Jana. Now let's look at question number 3. It says pick out the odd one. So you will have to pick out the one which you think is odd here. The first one, number A, the options given are Vaishali, Kapilavastu, Vatsa and Ramagrama. So the odd one here will be Vatsa. Number B, Ujjain, Mumbai, Kaushambi and Pratisthana. So over here, the odd one which you think. So the answer will be Mumbai. Mumbai is an odd one in this. Now we'll do question number 4. It says, which city was the capital of? Number A, Sursena. So the city, capital city will for Sursena will be Mathura. And number B, Cambodge. So Dwarka was the capital of Cambodge. So number A, Sursena, the answer will be Mathura, and number B, Cambodge, the answer will be Dwarka. Now let's see question number 5, which says which part of modern India corresponds to the following ancient kingdoms. So on the first column, the name of the ancient kingdoms are being given, and in the second column it is showing corresponding modern Indian region. So you will have to write the names of the corresponding Indian region along with the ancient kingdom's name. So the first one, number A, Chedi, it's given Bundelkhand. The second one, Kuru. What do you think will be the corresponding modern Indian region? Similar regions, okay? So the answer will be Delhi and Meerut. Number C, Panchala, and the corresponding modern Indian region for Panchala will be Uttar Pradesh. Number D, Matsya, and the corresponding modern Indian region for Matsya will be Jaipur. And the last one, Avanti, it will be Bhagalpur. So students, the next question is short or long answer questions, which we will be doing in our later session. For today, we will do only this much. Thank you.